Kai Havertz, who was the player that scored the decisive goal that separated the two sides today, and hopefully we will hear from him very shortly. But from you guys in the studio, what did you make of it? It was a hard watch at times, let's be honest, but it was all about the points for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Brentford do a really good job. They make it difficult for you, and Arsenal weren't at their best. But Brentford are a stable Premier League side for a reason. You know, they make it difficult. They play to their strengths. They're defensively a good side, and they play a lot of long balls and they work the channels. So Arsenal has to work really hard for that today, but I think they'll be delighted. Keep a clean sheet, win the game. Obviously, Havertz gets some minutes, and Ramsdale played as well. So I think everybody can be quite happy, really.
It'll be a very positive dressing room right now, I can imagine.
Yeah, of course, because again, you've won a game where you haven't played that well at all. But we've found that a lot of Arsenal this season. But again, positive Ramsdale clean sheet and no bit of an iffy first half. And Kai Havertz making an impact, because I think a lot of Arsenal fans are waiting for that. Well, 65 million. We know there's a talented player. I mean, Owen spoke about it. He's a big fan of his. You've seen it. He scored goals in Champions League final. He's a big game player, but it just hasn't quite happened for him yet. So you think on that performance, him coming and making a real impact, maybe this might kickstart his season. It
might do indeed. Well, let's actually have a look at Kai Havertz's goal. And also, Owen, why are you such a big fan of Kai?
Do you know, I actually feel a little bit for him, because he's a really talented player, but he's almost too versatile. He can play, midweek for Germany, he played as a wing-back and as a left-back. Today, he came on and he played as a centre-forward. Tell me another player in the world that would do that. He can play as a right winger, he can play as a number 10. But I think he has an amazing skill set. Technically, he's very good. I think one of his most underrated attributes is his heading. Physically, he's got a great size. He's in a great position at the back post. Just put it up there for him, and it's a really good finish. But I think at some point, I think Kai needs to specialise in what he's going to be. Ødegaard's the playmaker. Saka's the right winger. Martinez the left winger. Kai can play 5 positions. But at some point, I think somebody needs to say, Kai, we need you to play there. And I think if he plays there for a full season, he can be a brilliant player.
And where would that position be for you then, Owen?
I don't even think he knows. I think naturally he's at number 10, but Ødegaard plays there. I think he can play on the right, but Saka plays there. I think it can be a very good centre forward for Arsenal. So I think at some point maybe Mikel needs to say, right, Kai, let's specialise. What we're going to turn you into. Right now I think he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot of things, but I think he needs to specialise, and I think he can be a special player.
Well, that's brilliant for a player to have such versatility, and great for the manager as well.
It is, yeah, but as Owen was saying there, it's probably working against him, because where the 2 best players in the team are Ødegaard and Saka, and they're probably his 2 best positions. But as you said, I think he can play centre forward. It's just about what works well for him. I think if you're going to put him up there and try and play the same way you play with Gabriel Jesus or Nketiah, you won't see the best of him. But if you get the ball crosses in the box, let him link play, then I think he could be a really good, certainly centre forward for Arsenal, as Owen was saying.
So in the build-up to this match, the spotlight, as we discussed, was very much on Aaron Ramsdale. And it was really nice to see those full-time scenes of the fans really supporting Ramsdale, and also his players and his teammates. He sort of had... It was kind of a tale of two halves for him. He had some bad moments and some really good moments.
But you know what? They didn't lose the game. And he made a couple of mistakes, but they actually didn't hurt the team. And that's the real positive, I think. Obviously, it was a big moment for him. David Raya not playing. And one of the reasons Raya's in is because he's so good with his feet. So obviously it's not Ramsdale's greatest attribute. This one here, it just doesn't look great. And I think for him, that would have been tough to make a mistake like that and have to continue on. This one was actually even worse.
Yeah, this one, I don't know where he's trying to throw it, and it's one of those where maybe last second someone moves and he's like, oh no, I can't throw it there, and that ends up happening. But as I said, he reacted really well second half, was asked to do 1 or 2 things. I thought this was very good, really composed, and I almost felt like maybe at the start of the game he was trying to show everyone that he has got good feet. We all know it already that he's got good attributes with his feet. His passing's very good. But because David Raya has been brought in and is very silky the way he passes and some of his touches, it's almost like he was trying to overcompensate by going, I'm going to show everyone how good I am, rather than just, relaxing and doing what made him Arsenal's number 1 in the first place. But it's a positive, it's a clean sheet, but he'll look back at this and think, thank goodness for that, because it was a tough afternoon for him.
He's a good, he's a really likeable guy, Aaron Ramsdale, and I think we all want to see him do well. And when it's difficult for a player, you're going to push through it. I thought he did that today in quite tough circumstances for him.
Yeah, well, let's have a look also at a fantastic save, but not from either goalkeeper, from Zinchenko. This was a fantastic clearance off the line. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, we saw Declan Rice do one in the first half, which was very good, and Zinchenko here, sensing danger. I mean, it's a great ball from Mbeumo, by the way, just stands up, Morpay gets there ahead of Tomiyasu, but he just anticipates danger. Would Ramsdale have saved it behind? I'm not sure, because it looks like he's diving backwards, but listen, it's great defending from Zinchenko.
Yeah, that's just like game intelligence, instincts, where to be in the right moment. Little moments like that, help decide games. And it was huge from Zinchenko there. Just, you've got to be in the right place at the right time, and he did just that.
You're looking at this Arsenal side as a whole. How much have they evolved, or have they actually evolved from last season, from that experience that they had of sort of staying at the top of the table for so much of the season and then eventually losing out to Manchester City? Have they evolved from that point for you?
Yeah, I think they would have gained a lot from that experience. Again, we know they haven't played as well, but I think when it comes to crunch time at the end of the season, if they're there or thereabouts, I think they'll handle it this time around a lot better than they did last year. A little bit novice last season where maybe let points slip and maybe didn't know how to see out certain games. But listen, this time, if it happens again this season, I think they'll be in a better place.
Well, Owen, seeing as he's one of your favourite players and you really admire his qualities, we've decided that we are going to chat to him live now. Kai Havertz, it's an absolute pleasure to have you join us here in the Premier League studio. And congratulations on scoring the winning goal. How did that feel?
Hello, first of all, and thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a special feeling for me. You know, I've been working hard to get these moments, and I'm just thankful to help the team today.
It was a big moment. It was a really big moment to score that goal because, of course, your team have now gone top of the Premier League table. That dressing room must be filled with celebrations right now.
Yeah, I think, these late wins are always special away from home. And, to score at the end of the game and then celebrate with our fans is always, very nice. So, everyone enjoyed that moment in the changing room as well.
We've actually been talking in the studio about your position and how you've evolved in this Arsenal side. How did it feel to have that celebratory moment with Mikel Arteta? Because he looked absolutely delighted. What did he say to you?
Yeah, it was a special moment for me as well, to celebrate in front of the fans with the boss and all the players. And, it means a lot to me because I think me personally, and I think everyone else, every one of the players, you play football because of those moments, and these moments they make me proud, and I'm thankful for everyone that kept going with me, especially because I had some tough weeks and months, but I'm happy, and I hope I can do this now in the next few games as well.
Kai, first of all, I want to say congrats on the goal. I know it probably means a lot to you scoring the winner, taking Arsenal top. What do you think? I mean, obviously, I see you play a lot with Leverkusen and with Germany. What would you say is your best position? Because I think you're so good in so many. What do you think is your favourite position to play?
To be honest, I don't even know anymore because I think I played so many positions in the last couple of years. To be honest, and really, I mean this honestly, I don't mind it even anymore where I play. I'm just happy to be on the pitch. Of course, I'm a player who wants to play offensive football, who wants to attack the box and the goal as well. I scored some goals in the past, and this is the best thing for me. But I want to help the team wherever I can. But I played as a 9 now. The last couple of games in Germany, I played even on the left side. So I don't even know anymore.
Well, congratulations! It was a huge win for you guys today, and congratulations also on scoring that winning goal. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Kai Havertz live there from the G-Tech Community Stadium. And his versatility is actually incredible when you think about it, and with what you said of how many positions he can play in, it is amazing. And actually, Mikel Arteta certainly believes in him because he's the only player to have started every Premier League game for Arsenal this season. Yeah,
but you know what? I thought he would answer that question that way because he's played so many positions, and it's, I actually feel for him. I think it's really difficult for him. Everybody else gets to play pretty much the same position every game. And Kai, because he can play in a lot of positions, he gets kind of put in all these different positions. I think at some point someone needs to help him and say, let's be a centre forward for me, be a number 10, be a winger, be an extra central midfield player. Right now he can do all these things, and every game, depending on what the game needs, he can do it. But I think that's impacting his consistency by playing all these different positions. So I'd love to see him do well because I think he's a really nice kid, but technically I think he's a fantastic player.
Well, it was great to hear the thoughts there of Kai Havertz. So it's Arsenal that take all 3 points to go top of the Premier League table on Mikel Arteta's 200th Premier League game in charge of the Gunners. The players have made it one to remember for him. Let's find out how he's feeling post-match. Here he is.
Well, you know how tough it is coming to Brentford, a tough old game, but you've gone away with the 3 points that takes you top.
So happy. The way we competed, the way we play, the way we kept going and going and going, and I think we deserve to win the game. So big compliment to the players, because this is a really, really tough play to come.
You could see what it meant to Aaron Ramsdale and the players at the end. They all rushed to congratulate him. He had his moments in the first half that were a bit worrying.
Yeah, I'm so happy with the performance of the team. We kept a clean sheet, and we looked, so at it. The body language of every player is absolutely the right one, and delighted.
Is it sometimes a player can try too hard to impress the manager, perhaps? Is that what he's doing at the moment, do you think?
I think that every player wants to improve. It's no different in any other position, in any other player, and they are willing to do their best for the team, not for the manager. It's for the team. Nobody has to impress me. It's the team that has to be better with their contribution.
Is it my imagination that in the last 20 minutes Declan moved a little bit higher, started to drive things, so he had a good game?
When he had moments, in the first half he did it a couple of times as well, and it's the way Brentford defend as well, certain spaces that you can use, and I think he was terrific again today.
A word of Kai Havertz, one of the players who didn't start. He had played the 2 games in the international break, and he's had to be patient at times, but he's played every game for you now, I think.
I don't think that anybody is happier in that room for him. He fully deserves it, the way he trains every day, the way he is. And he's a tremendous football player, and today we believe that there were spaces there to attack, and he was the right player, and he won the game for us.
Time after time, Saka's put in that sort of ball from that right-hand side this season. I remember Trossard scoring late in the game for you recently that I did. That was a lovely ball in again.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. The big players have to produce magic moment, and B was patient. He had a lot of opportunities to get some great balls, great deliveries, and we were missing for an edge a lot of the balls that were flying through the box, and we get the timing right and execution right.
It's an old cliche in the game that when you're going to win titles, you have to win games when you're not at your best. I think in terms of fluent creativity, you'd admit you weren't at your best today, but you've won the game.
I think we're at our best today. You cannot have a fluid game here against the way they play. They don't allow you to have a fluent game. The game is a stop, start, and you have to play that game. Unfortunately, sometimes you cannot play the game that you want.
And in terms of stop and start, this is interesting actually, because now you come to the core period of the season. No more internationals now until March. This is the core period coming up now, isn't it?
That's the big one, and we are in a really good position. We are top of the league at the moment. We won today. Let's enjoy tonight, and then we have Champions League, another big game coming up. So this is not going to stop. We are in a good place.
Yeah, the games really are coming thick and fast, aren't they? But for Arsenal fans, there you go. Top of the Premier League table. Just how much of a statement is that, Darren, at this stage of the season?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, being on top over Manchester City and Liverpool without playing at your absolute maximum. I know he said that was a very good game today. I don't think they played particularly well. But you have to play that sometimes against a side like Brentford. But it's a massive for them. To be top at this stage, going into that Christmas period where we know it's quite hectic, exactly where you want to be. As I said, you're picking up points, you're winning games where you've had to grind it out. It should be over the moon with what's going on at the minute with Arsenal. And actually, it's the first time they've been top of the table this season, Owen.
Yeah, and I think obviously having Declan's probably been their best player this season, most consistent. I think the reason they signed Declan was for the end of the season, which Benty mentioned, where they weren't at their best, where they dropped points. And I think Declan, with his personality, I think he'll help them be there. But I think they can play a lot better than they are. And to be top right now after 13 games is a good achievement.
So that's the Arsenal perspective on things. How about from Brentford's side? Well, let's hear from the manager. Here he is, Thomas Frank.
Thomas, that must be difficult to take, losing the game so late on.
Yeah, of course it is. It is. That's the tough one in this beautiful game. We all love that we lose a game where I think we do so many things right. I think this is a game that should have been a draw. I think there was 2 chances to each team. We had the big one for Brian, a big one for Neil. They had a good header for Jesus for the disallowed goal. And the goal is scored. We managed to keep them very, very quiet throughout the game. Managed to keep Saka and Martinelli very quiet throughout the game. And then Saka had one fantastic moment, fantastic cross that decided the game, unfortunately. So this was a very even game. It should have been a draw. Either team could have won it. It could easily have been us.
Yeah, and that's a sign of how far they have come, the fact that they are disappointed to have lost against Arsenal at home.
Well, he said before the game, and I looked at Benty, he said, we're going to try and dominate the game and win. And that's against Arsenal, so they play their way, they have their style, their philosophy. He's a brilliant manager, by the way, and he's one of the nicest managers than we have in the Premier League, and they gave it a good go today.
They've lost 3 home games since last October. That is how tough it is to go to that stadium.
It's really, really tough, and they've made that place a fortress. But Thomas Frank, he's a top manager, and they will bounce back from this for sure.
OK, well, on that note, it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you very much to both of you. It's been amazing, as always, having your company. Thank you for yours. So 23 goals scored across the Premier League today, and Arsenal end the day top of the table. See you soon. Goodbye.